Hey, hi, and hello. Welcome back to my simulation simulator because that's what it is today. Today will be another smoke and chat. So if you're a smoker, go ahead and roll up. If you're not, once again, hear me out. Give my thought process a chance to wiggle its way into your brain and change a few things. Maybe not. I don't know. Because today we're going to talk about solipsism. Now, originally I had the thought in my mind that, everybody knows what solipsism is. I'm pretty sure everybody has at least heard of it. But then I had to go back and I was like, wait, at one point I didn't even know what solipsism was. I haven't even heard it. So I want to ask you guys, have you seen a show called The Good Place? The Good Place was an amazing show, and I loved it so much. It's on Netflix now. I wish that I had caught it while it was on the air and I had to wait a week for every episode and stuff like that. That's kind of like the novelty of cable that I miss, but it's still a good show to binge. It plays with the idea of belief systems, morality, and religion when it comes to and when it pertains to the afterlife. So that's what kind of got me into the realm of thought when it comes to solipsism. The definition of solipsism is basically the belief that you can only guarantee your own existence in this world. Like, you are only sure that you are conscious because you are aware of your own conscience. Does that make sense? It has to make sense. If it doesn't, it'll make sense later on down the line. But all right, time to spark up, guys. That was the little intro, guys. So, to start us off, I'm going to say something completely bonkers, but I can't be sure other people are really real the way that I am real. I can't be sure that other people exist the way that I exist. I can believe it, like I can have the general knowledge that this is what a human is and this is what makes up a human, but I don't know truly because I'll never be able to live as somebody else. I'll never be able to transplant my consciousness into theirs or even take over their consciousness and see how that works. It's so complex that like I don't even know how to describe it. Like, how can my consciousness now be their consciousness? I want to have their consciousness, but how will I have theirs and still have mine? Anywho, to bring us into this concept a little bit, imagine we're all in a room, like a classroom. And mind you, this is only what my mind can conceptualize, If there's any alien things, any alien technology, any alien beings, I have no idea. If I am an alien being, I would have no idea. So, imagine we're all in a room and we're in rows and we're in seats and stuff like that. And we all get a headset. Yay! I don't know why I said that. We all get a headset. And in those headsets is a reality. And, they put the headsets on us and we're transported into a reality. And that reality is the one that we're currently in right now. The one that I'm talking about right now. This is so weird. This blows my mind. Like, weed doesn't help, but it really blows my mind. So, the catch is, though, that we all have a headset, yes, and we all get transported to a reality, yes, but each headset only holds one reality. So the reality that you're living is completely different from the reality that I'm living. And when I say completely, I don't mean like up is down and left is right. I just mean like we're not in the same place. It doesn't have to be everything is completely different. No, I guess that kind of negates the completely different, doesn't it? But it still makes sense in my mind, so stick with me here. In my idea of solipsism, you might be real, but somewhere else in the world. Once they put the headset on you, your avatar was uploaded into a database and, they just randomly drop different avatars into my reality and they see how I interact with other avatars. Like, that's really how I see the world, guys. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Please tell me it does. So, in that reality that I'm in my head, if I take my attention off something, it doesn't exist anymore. So, and you might think like, that's too complex, like the microbots from Big Hero 6. Like, how can he make each microbot know exactly where to go and what to build and stuff like that? That was a completely out of bonkers reference, but it makes sense to me right now. That was not even in my script. So imagine, like how can these concepts, not exist if my attention is not on them? And I think that comes from the overall awareness. Like, if I walk into a building and I go into a room, the rest of the building isn't going to disappear because I am in a single room. I know that I'm in a building. I know that there are other rooms. So other things may or may not be happening in those other rooms, and that's the thing. So intrinsically, we have this thought, this general idea of things, but realistically, we don't really know what's going on. It kind of goes to the question of like, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Because again, intrinsically, we believe that we know that it does make a sound, but realistically, we'll never know. That's the whole point of the question. Like, we will truly never know. So relating that back to my idea of solipsism, intrinsically, we know that humans have blood and an organ system and a skeletal system and this, that, and the third. But realistically, we don't know what a human really has. Like, people are still trying to figure out what a soul really is. Like, we don't know. That's what blows my mind. And it goes into like the Schrodinger's cat theory a little bit. The idea that there's a cat in a box and it's either alive or dead, and its fate relies on whether or not you open that box. So, it all depends on what you do that will make the cat die or continue to live, if that makes sense. Imagine like a little hammer mechanism in the box, and if you open it, the hammer mechanism goes off and it kills the cat, or it goes off and it just sprays glitter. Don't quote the actual theory on that, because I'm pretty sure that was not in my search. So, Schrodinger's cat, freaking tree in the forest, all that good stuff. The problem is that we can only hypothesize. We don't know what's going on, and we can only guess. In my theory, my guess is that none of you are real. I don't believe it. I simply don't. I can't buy into it. It doesn't make sense to me that everybody out here just like wakes up every day and does things and in the same way that I do. Please try again. Not in this reality. But that propels me into my next thought. What if there was a way to access like other headsets from our own? What if there was a way to meet the real version of you or them or all of us, but just there are certain things that we have to do. And it kind of brings me back to the hive mind concept. Imagine that there's a lot of imagining. I need you guys to be imaginative, okay? Imagine that there's a grid and it's dotted, and each of those dots represents one of us, and each of them lights up, when they're on the right track, I guess. And I guess in a way, like if my dot lines up next to your dot and then I light up and then you light up, maybe I just met you in my headset. Maybe this is the real you that I'm experiencing now in my headset. And maybe our headsets are connected, and maybe if we do something right, we can connect to another dot, and then that dot, and then that dot, and then, oh, boom, the whole grid is freaking sparkly and beautiful, and we're all connected. And now the simulation is essentially broken. We're essentially known that we are in a simulation, and we're like, hey, I'm sitting next to you. Hey, I'm sitting next to you. Hey, turn your headset off and look at me and see how I look, type thing. Please tell me if this makes sense. I need to know. I truly need to know, because these things keep me up at night, guys. I wonder so much about how we can really define things, what we can really be sure of besides life and death, because we're not even sure of those. We don't know what comes after death. So like, we're literally just out here riding around and getting it. If this doesn't blow your mind, okay, fine. I will take solace in the fact that it blows my mind absolutely every single day when I consider it. And I just look at other people and I'm like, are you real? Are you real? This isn't real. Like, yeah, people, they be like, oh, you were living in a simulation. Yeah, but you're not living in my simulation is the thing. If it makes sense, literally, please let me know. Please reach out on any of my social media platforms at Leveling Out or Leveling Out Show or Leveling Out Podcast. I'm working on consistency, guys. Bear with me. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys are subscribed so you can be alerted whenever I post a new episode. But as usual, I will see you next Thursday. Thank you again for listening. Bye.